Hello and welcome to Upper Pen Reviews. My name is Dakota, and today I'm going to be talking about Jessie Mihalik's Capture the Sun. This is the last book in a trilogy, and I received a copy via NetGalley, and I pre-ordered my physical copy months ago. So I'm just patiently waiting for it to come in the mail now. I personally love Jessie Mihalik's books. So I think she does sci-fi and romance very well together. It never feels like the romance is eclipsing the sci-fi, but there are quite a few romantic elements in the stories. Capture the Sun follows Lexi and Nilo, who've been talked about in the first two books. I have them here. So there's actually a prequel called Honor the Star, or Honor and Shadow, and that follows Tavi, the leader of their little group. And then there's Hunt the Stars, which follows Tavi and her love interest Torin as they try and... It's really weird because Torin's lying to her at the beginning, but he's trying to rescue his nephew, but he tells her that they're doing something else to try and get her to go along with it because she does not like him as they were 5 years ago in the story, at war with one another. So there's that. And then Eclipse the Moon follows Key and Vara, who you meet in Hunt the Stars. And this book furthers the basic storyline of trying to stop a war between the humans and the Valofs. Our female heroines are humans and our male love interests are Valofs. And there's a lot of history because the two, like I said at the beginning, were actively battling each other in wartime, like 5 years before the first story begins. Now, Lexi and Nilo's story starts when Lexi goes to Valof, where she is being hired by a arms dealer to find something for him. So she's just going to the initial meeting so that she can set up their business relationship, and immediately he betrays her. He doesn't even show up. He sends the Queen's guards to her location, and she is saved by Nilo, who can teleport, which is a really cool aspect of the Valofs in these books, is they all have some kind of ability, mostly mental. They're all very physically strong too, though. Stronger than humans, it would appear. But Nilo can teleport, and this book follows them trying to save Tavi and Taro from the ending of Key's book, Eclipse the Moon. And yeah, so I don't know how much to say because there's a lot. It's the end of a trilogy, so if you haven't read the first two, I don't want to spoil it for you. But the first book with Tavi is it's the introduction to our characters, but also it's learning that the Valofs and one human in particular are trying to start a war again. And that's kind of the ending of the book, is we find out that they want to do this. In Key's book, she's trying to find out more information about how and who is starting it, because they don't yet know who the people on the human side are. And they really don't want to go to war again, so they're all very anti-war. And then in Lexi's book, they are making their final stand, essentially. And they are saving the universe from another galactic war. I really enjoy these books. I know that they're sci-fi romance, and for a lot of people that might put you off, the romance bent. But I don't know. I think Jessie Mihalik does a really good job, like I said at the beginning, of like balancing the two. So there's a few sex scenes in each of the books, but they aren't in any way obtrusive to the story. And I think that's what happens with a few romance books, is like the romance is more important than the plot, which makes sense to me. But in these books, that's absolutely not the case. These are very plot heavy, and so I give them 5 stars, honestly, because Jessie Mihalik has a great story going here. It's something that has high stakes, but this group of people are uniquely inclined to want to stop the war because they were all soldiers before and they hated it. And then the characterizations are all really, really well done. I will say that there is a point in Lexi and Nilo's, or Capture the Sun. The thing that gets me a little is Lexi is very much like, I do not want to be with Nilo, and then she realizes she's probably gonna die, and she's like, fuck it, whatever. Which I guess makes sense, but that was kind of my only pitfall with it, was she kind of flip-flopped from being like, no, 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 I do not want to be with you, to, okay, well, whatever, let's try this thing out. So I guess maybe it should be 4.5 out of 5 stars, because that one moment of characterization kind of kills me. So yeah, I'm changing it. It's 4.5 out of 5 stars. The world building's fantastic, though. You get a real good sense of the reasons that the human like the guy who's trying to start the war wants to go to war, but you also get a really good sense of the places that these people are going to and the larger political structure throughout the galaxy. It's very easy to read, as with her first trilogy. I find most romantic books tend to lean on the easy to read side. So that's pretty much always a given for me. If it's not easy to read and it's a romantic book, then I tend to not love it because I get frustrated with that crap. And then I would say that this book, Capture the Sun, is something that I will reread. I tend to reread Jessie Mihalik's books when I am sad or I just need a pick-me-up, because they all do. She lives a happily ever after, and they all have a little bit of romance, but they all have a little bit of family in it, and those are the things that generally give me a pick-me-up when I'm like a little depressed, or it's winter and I just need something to cuddle with, okay? And maybe Matt's not around and our dogs don't love me that day. But yeah, I would say I'll come back to this book over and over just because it's a comfy read. And I think people discount that a lot in literature. Comfortable is fantastic. It doesn't make a book bad. And I think that's actually being shown with how people on Book Talk and Bookstagram and even BookTube are praising romantic books and books that have feature heavily on characters that are like growing attached or creating a family of some kind. So I do think that that is a trend right now, romantic books in that way. But this has all my favorite aspects of sci-fi too. Oh my gosh. So there's like battles with futuristic tech, and there's spaceships, there are advanced technology that I absolutely love. I really love it, and I really want to hear what you think. I've talked to her before on this channel about Hunt the Stars, I think it was, a couple of years ago. And she is fantastic. She gave me a lot of good book recommendations. I really love it. I want to know what you think. Do you appreciate romance in a book? Do you not appreciate romance in a book? Like, what is the acceptable level? Is it okay if there's sex scenes, not sex scenes? But yeah, I want to hear what you have to say. Leave me a comment and like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.